Well, we're here with another episode of Let's Talk About It. Transcending heights, empowering each other. Sister Sylvia Hill. Splash, dripping wet daddy. PLAGA Jr. And today is a very, very, very special episode. Sister Sylvia Hill, would you like to speak a little bit on why today is such a special episode?
Well, first of all, as always, I want to say I thank the Lord for allowing us another day, another opportunity to draw closer to Him, to show love and to receive love. And on this day, I would love to present my brother with an autographed copy of my first book, Transcending Heights, Journey to Freedom. Right now, I do have some complimentary copies where I'm still going through like the editing process and everything to make sure that this particular snapshot, and it truly is just a snapshot of my life, that I'm able to do this thing in a way that the Lord will be pleased, and that the message that is meant to be conveyed is conveyed. And so this is truly a special day. My brother, my parents, my church family, my children, many of my co-workers, my sisters and brothers in Christ know that I have been working on this since at least 2012. And so that's part of where I want to go with today. We did a towering Tuesday, and we know that towering means to rise above and to surpass. And I want to remind us today that the Lord is our tower. He's our refuge. He's our shield. He's our protector. He is the source for everything we need. We can tower above and surpass our past situations. We can tower or surpass our current situations. And as I just stated, I started my writing journey just with a snapshot of my life back in 2012. Time passed by, but I continued to press forward through the Lord and my essential partners, accountability partners, social support. And so I just want to encourage today, and like I always say, many times on these Let's Talk About It, my brother's often asking, what's in the near future. And so today when I arrived home from work, I received this package, and that lets me know that the Lord is truly, truly working things out in His timing. And the significant part about that too is that I just recently did a Reader's Choice segment with Mrs. Tina Presley, and I was able to share just a snapshot, because I really can't truly even begin to put into words all of the things that the Lord has done in my life and in the lives of some others that are so dear to me, and even people that I don't know personally. Just sitting down and talking to people about how they have been towering and surpassing various things. And so I want to encourage anyone, because we all have a story. We all do. And our story is valuable. It's not only valuable to us and maybe our healing process, but it's also valuable to others, because you don't know who else may be going through similar situations. And so just allowing them to really see that, there are resources out there. You are not alone. Some of the common challenges that you face, others face that as well. And so I'm just really grateful today. Every day is a day of Thanksgiving, but I'm so grateful for just all that the Lord has really been revealing to me. And so I'm really speechless. I'm a processor, so right now I'm just still processing everything. And I'm always working to encourage. And so I was encouraged. I've been encouraged a lot here lately. People calling me, people texting me, people really providing support, and then me reciprocating that to them. And so I just want to encourage again, like I said, do not give up on your dreams. That's part of what I talked about with towering as well, is that a lot of times when we're children, we are very creative We know no limits. We think about all of the things that we want to be when we become an adult. And then somewhere along the way, challenges, obstacles, maybe negativity, stumbling blocks, and different things come our way. We also refer to them before as stepping stones that we don't understand at the time. But I want to encourage us to continue to press forward. You don't know who you are helping. I don't know who all we are talking to on our platforms, but that's really what it's about, is encouraging and inspiring, letting people see that, you know what, even when we do have fears at times and we have doubts, because we're human, and sometimes I talk about this a lot too, and this was part of the towering message, we may compare ourselves to others, and we see others, maybe it seems like they're moving ahead a little bit quicker than we are, and so sometimes we may even get discouraged, but just recognizing that if we continue to persevere through Him, continue to allow Him to use us, then He will begin to really just move things at the appropriate time and into the appropriate places. So I just want to encourage everyone not to give up, not to give in. I often state that sometimes we are really, really limited by what we can see. Even with glasses, even with contact lenses, our vision is still limited because God is always working behind the scenes.
Definitely. It's amazing that you said that about vision and about glass and contacts, because I definitely want to read a little bit of this. But as you know, I don't have my So, Transcending Heights. Journey to freedom. What does a journey to freedom mean to you? Because this right here is powerful all in itself. But like I said, even when you look at how long African Americans have been in America, just slavery, and then as we look at modern day slavery, which includes more than one race of people, it's slaves to our devices, slaves to society, slaves to the way that we feel like things should be in our perception of what reality is. So on your particular journey to freedom, like where were you? Where was your mind? Like, where does that come from? Where does journey to freedom? How did you? Because those three words right there, with Transcending Heights with it, but those three words right there are very, very powerful words. I want you to take me there.
So, Journey to Freedom, and I'm laughing because Christian Faith Publishing is who I decided to go with, who I decided to embark on this particular journey with. And when I first talked to one of the representatives, when she heard that Journey to Freedom, she was like, whoa. She was like, I don't really even know yet what your book is about, but she was like, that Journey to Freedom really just speaks volumes. And so when you say, where was I? At one point, I was truly a prisoner in my mind, a prisoner in my circumstances. I felt like I was really chained, weighted down by just one bad decision after the next. And a lot of it basically came from low self-esteem, looking for love in others, outward validation. I talk about that a lot. So I try to be very transparent with that. And so Journey to Freedom. How do I get out of this prisoner mindset? And not only how do I get out of this prisoner mindset, I'm always using ing with a lot of things. I love to use ing because it's a continual process. So even with this Journey to Freedom, this is just a snapshot. This is just a picture, because there is going to be another part that comes. So for those of you who do know me, you may read this and be like, wow, well, she has accomplished much more now. But remember, this was something I started back in 2012 that is just now coming into the manifestation process. But basically, not only how do I get out of this prisoner-like mindset, but what can I do to keep from returning to that prisoner mindset? And so when I thought about Journey to Freedom, it has truly been a journey. And even now, I'm not in nearly the type of situations that I was in at the time that this book, which was a healing process for me, a healing process, and I don't want to give too much, on the book, but I was almost healed. And then over a year later, my son was in a drowning accident,
Yeah, that date rings a bell.
Yeah,
7/7/2020.
Yeah, he was in a drowning accident, and so my world seemed like it was just in this whirlwind, and it was just like one thing after another was coming about.
I want to say this.
Mm-hmm.
When I stepped behind the camera a while ago, I squinted to read a bit of this book. And when I say, whoa, what I squinted and saw was when you were pregnant with BJ. And what I get from it is, man, that you're actually giving young ladies, not only young ladies, but young men, you're giving them like a peek into the window of your life, you know what I'm saying? And showing them how you overcame and even the feelings that you felt during those times. So, I mean, they get a chance to journey with you on this book. Like, when I saw that, I said, whoa.
Yes.
And I had to close it back.
Yes.
Because I understand that due to certain situations, extenuating circumstances, a lot of things in the book, just like with movies and everything, has to be kind of maneuvered, to protect, people's best interests.
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to say I'm appealed. And I'm so ready to read this book. And I definitely hope that y'all get a chance to check out Transcending Heights, Journey to Freedom. So, Sylvia Hill, as you begin transcending, as you were going through all of this stuff, do you feel that during that whirlwind where you felt like you were getting pulled down, do you feel that this whole time you were transcending, or do you feel that you had to go all the way down to hit somewhat of a rock bottom and then, snap back? Like, where do you feel, even in a positive mind state, do you feel that all of this was necessary?
So you asked some very powerful questions, and so I'm going to do my best to answer coherently. So you asked some powerful questions. The reason why I say it like that, and I'm going to be, as always, ask the Lord to guide me in how I put this. So at the time of this, and I had to take myself into the mindset. So throughout this book, I'm basically shifting from a mindset that I had when I was going through things to a mindset of where I'm at now. So at the time, I didn't see where I was transcending at all. At the time, I just felt as though I was on a road of destruction and that there was no way out. So at the time,
Perfect.
That is exactly how I felt.
Perfect.
But when I can look at things now from a totally different perspective, the Lord was transcending me the whole time.
Yes.
He was protecting me and my children the whole time.
Yes, Lord.
He already had the avenues in place that I needed.
Hallelujah.
To break free, to break those chains. But everything that I went through, and of course at the time, and I often talk about this now, I used to love a flow. I love the flow. I love for things to go smoothly. But I have learned throughout life the importance of recognizing the growth that we can accomplish through obstacles and through challenges. It changes our mindsets. It gives us an opportunity to really lean and depend on the Lord more for our true refuge. See, back in the day, I always thought I needed protection. I've always been considered as like a very sweet, humble person. And so with that being in mind, my low self-esteem, I often gravitated towards or attracted people that had a very different personality than myself to keep things as, positive as possible. And another thing about this book is not about trying to put anybody down. It's not about, I've changed names and things in there, like he said, to protect some identities. Some situations have been left out because I felt like it would just be too much even for my children, to like re-traumatize them. However, I wanted the plea to be out about the importance of, if you recognize that you are in a situation that is unhealthy, that has yourself in danger, that has your children in danger, to think about that there are resources out there. On the other hand, I talk about the importance of rehabilitation, rehabilitation for batterers, because sometimes it's all about batterers, they have been abused before, and then they never really got the help that they needed to overcome that hurt. What happens is that hurt people tend to project onto others, even others that are trying to be there for them, that really genuinely care, that are trying to show that unconditional love. And so that happens sometimes. And so really this is just really, like I say, a snapshot of my life, from when I was younger up until, all of this happened, where I almost lost my life, and like I say, the tragedy with my younger son, and then just some of the current accomplishments at that time. So like I say, this is almost like a blast from the past, if you think about it. Like I'm thinking about Back to the Future and different things like that. So like I say, this only gives you, it's enough to get a message out about recognizing healthy and unhealthy relationships, self-love, and recognizing that many times everything that we really needed, we already have. We're looking for outward validation.
Here, baby, this thing here, and it's Christian, but it's also savvy. I'm talking about, it reminds me of Donald Goins, Iceberg Slim, but on a more positive scale. I mean, when I looked in here and I read about Sweet James, the street superstar, I mean, the way you begin to build and to gain understanding, so everybody can kind of put into place like where you're going, it almost like seems as if you're making a setting for a movie. So I mean, you remember these things vividly, don't you? So,
I will be honest. Let me
go
emphasize just a little bit, and I think most people can attest to this. When you've gone through traumatic experiences, what happens with the brain sometimes, and that's why I wrote this, remember, like back in 2012, I've added some things to it because I had to make some adjustments. But when I originally started writing this, things were so fresh. Things were so fresh because everything happened with me, like that defining moment of everything was in 2011. So you're looking at 2012, this kind of being my way of writing down. I often talk about in some of my videos the importance of writing things down, and tracking things. And so for me, I was able to allow myself to write down things in the way that I really remembered, things happening. So that's why everything is more vivid, especially about the accounts of what actually happened on that cold, chilling morning in February of 2011.
Okay, well, I actually didn't get to that part about the cold, chilling morning in February, but as I said, like, the parts and pieces that I'm reading show me that this is going to be a good read that I'm going to sit down and kind of get into. And then once I get an understanding for it, and as you become more comfortable about talking about it and kind of explaining it, I mean, it's definitely a great storyline. So I mean, it's really something amazing to live and go through, and then to transcend from it all instead of letting it take you all the way down. And I think that's a message all in itself. That's a beautiful message for her. You know what I'm saying? And anybody young, anybody that's older, like, no matter what life throws at, no matter what you went through, you have to find some type of turning point. So I have not got to it in the book, of course, but where was that turning point for you? Well, I mean, I know a little bit more about your life than most people should, because we're not to be weird, brother and sister, but was it when you decided to move out of city? Was it like before then? Was it when you came back home? Was it like, when was it that you finally hit that turning point? I know it had been before then, because I mean, you've always, you know, held a job. That's amazing too. Like, no matter what you going through throughout this book, I mean, you were in college the whole time, going to work the whole time. You know, not to toot your horn, but what kept you going? I mean, I know it was God. We know this, but for the average human being, or for somebody that may be going through what you're going through now, did Dart help out? Was it, you know, the church family too? You know, how did you continue to go through it and continue to be in school, dealing with migraines that come from the stress of the situation, and just not giving up and just not throwing in the towel?
Well, like you said, we definitely know way more about each other because we are brother and sister, but we have a strong church foundation. So, of course, I believe that that's one of the things that really kind of kept me going. Our parents never stopped praying for me. They never stopped checking on me or doing whatever they could do to try to help. But I also talk about this some in the book too, that a lot of times we can be going through things and we don't want other people to worry about us, and so we kind of, or we feel like we're so much of a disappointment. Maybe we had very, very high expectations for ourselves and others did, and so therefore we just don't share things. But people that are really close to you and care about you, they can discern, they can sense when something's not going right. Our church family, Greater St. Luke Baptist Church in Arcadia, Louisiana, I mean, we have some prayer warriors, and not just prayer warriors. We have church family that actually will call you. They will actually come to where you are and check in on you. So when you ask how was I able to get through everything, and like you said, you knew I was going to say the Lord, but it was also the people that he placed in my life. Dart also has been phenomenal. I received counseling services from there. I was able to get a restraining order from there. My counselor even encouraged me at the time, you know, to go back to school, and just through my interactions with her, that really encouraged me as well, that, you know what, I want to be able to give back. I want to be able to help others. So when you ask, it was a multitude of things. Plus, one thing that I've always done, which sometimes I feel like it's a blessing and sometimes it's a curse. Oh, I do not like to give up. I do not like to, whatever it is, you know, I try to put my all into whatever it is. I mean, if it's a relationship, my job, my mission, parenting, whatever it is, being a daughter, being a sister, I put my all into everything I do. And so, like I say, sometimes we have to know when we have done all that we can do, or better yet, when the Lord is trying to tell us, you know, this right here, this is not your fight. This is not what I want you to put your energy towards. And so it was a multitude of things, because like you say, he already had to start working on me, and I had to position myself before I could even move down south, because I definitely would not have been able to move to a whole different place, and this is in a whole nother book, but move to a different place with none of my family, you know, trying to get settled there and entering into a new role within the same agency that I've been working with since 2011. So there were definitely a lot of moving pieces, and like I say, I definitely didn't do any of it all on my own. It was the Lord, it was our parents, it was my children. I had to live and fight and be a role model for them. So I had to go to school, I had to work. I mean, we were brought up, you work hard, you know, you make sure that you're being honest in what you do, that you serve and you help others, that you treat others with respect. So I mean, I had to just keep moving. But I also talk about that as well, you know, the difference in living and existing. And so for a great part of it, like you say, yeah, I was going to work, I was going to school, and, you know, still being a parent and everything. But for a great bit of time, I was really just existing, just kind of going through the motions and just trying to hold things together as best as I could.
Definitely, I know all about that. So, and like you said on other episodes, there's nothing wrong with therapy. You have talk,
yeah, I just
talk and everything.
Mentioned, you know, that, and I'm gonna be,
made you want to
and I'm gonna be honest, you know, like a lot of people, therapy kind of scared me. I mean, it didn't scare me like I felt like I was going to be physically harmed or anything, but I mean, to go to somebody I do not know and begin talking to them about all of the different things I've done in my life and experienced. And so you're wondering, like, what is that going to be like? Am I going to be judged? Is it going to make me feel, feel even worse? Like, boom, when was your light bulb going to come on? But it was nothing like that. It was very welcoming. It was very accepting. And like I say, she really helped me to realize, wow, like, you deserve love. You're a good person, because I had gotten to that point where I really started thinking, how sometimes you really feel like you have like a curse on you or you just doomed.
Nah, I definitely feel like that, especially like when you're a chosen person and like you got a real, real good heart, you know what I'm saying, and you got a good spirit. It just seems like, and we have talked about this like even episode 1, maybe episode 2, it seems like the world will try to eat you alive, you know what I'm saying, and then the difference between me and you is, you know what I'm saying, I think it made me rougher and meaner and like, you know what I'm saying, like, yeah, like, get you, like, forget y'all people. And then, like, you, which is I felt the same, and I think that's what made me, like, man, I'm like, man, you know what, ain't nothing wrong with me. There's something wrong with everybody else, so that made me worse a little bit. But at the end of the day, I've definitely felt that feeling where it's just like, man, I'm not good enough. You dig what I'm saying? So, yeah, and I'm a therapist too. Like, I think like I kind of like talking to my therapist. Like when I went to him, just to get it all off instead of talking to my girl or talking to my parents and everything. So man, that's a beautiful thing, man. So will these be like when these are ready? They're going to be like for sale, or they're going to be ebook also, or they're going to be paper?
From my understanding, ebook, paper.
You can't,
yeah, you can get either way.
Right.
It's really up to the person's preference, and like as it becomes closer to time for it to actually be released, we'll definitely make sure that you all know where to get it. But it could be either way. Some people prefer, me personally, I do prefer where I can hold, read, highlight, do things like that. And then some people prefer the ebook, so it will be, either way.
Well, I'm not sure when this will air. Actually, I know exactly. but this is where I'm getting at. Will it be like a pre-order link or something that I might can put into the description box, or are they still kind of working on that? Or you still, have you like when you read the paperwork, have they said that you can do like a pre-order link, or it's gonna be a link where they can go get it?
They have not said about a pre-order link, and I don't want to put anything into the atmosphere that I'm not sure about. Like I said, at this point, it has been, edited and everything like that. And so this is basically me going back, making sure I'm okay with everything or whatever. And then from there, it's like another process or step, and then they'll be ready for distribution.
Well, we're going to definitely make sure that we have the link available to you. If not on this episode, we'll have it on the next episode. And basically, it's going to be on this episode and every episode before it, because once we get the link, what I'm saying, that's our own bit, but I'm going to go back in the description, I'm going to put it back where you'll be able to get it. So you'll definitely be able to get one of these books. And do you have any like book signings in the future? Like would you do that? Like get with some more black authors maybe around the area, or collab with them, and maybe like...
Well, authors in general, yes. I would definitely get black authors, but...
man, bro.
I catch everything. Look, I catch everything.
Nah, for real though. But, Japanese art, like any type of art. Like you can
I definitely look forward to book signings and different things like that. Because once again, I am very much all about supporting others. I think that we learn and grow in our interactions with others. And like I say, I'm all about people sharing their journeys, shedding some light into some very dark places, because if it were not for many of the books I've read, and on that segment that I did for Reader's Choice, I highlighted The Power of a Positive Woman by Carol Ladd, because that book right there talks about the power of effective prayer, Friendships, how valuable friendships can be. And even in here, I talk some about friendships, and people that I lost. Like when I was going through the struggles and stuff that I was going through, people that still cared about me, but they just couldn't stand to see me going through the various things that I was going through, or hearing about the various things that I was going through. And so I'm all about encouraging and supporting. And that's part of where Transcending Heights, Empowering Each Other came from, was because nothing I have accomplished, I'll say that over and over again, has all been because of me. Because if it were just me, like when you asked earlier, how did I do it? If it were just me, I guarantee you, I would not have made it as far as I have made it.
Nah, definitely, man. We've come this far by faith and leaning
on the Lord. Trusting in His holy word.
Trusting. Yeah, you took
He's
words
never
right out my.
failed me yet. I'm singing, whoa, whoa, whoa. Can't turn around.
We can't turn around.
We've come this far by faith.
Yes, indeed. So y'all already know, man. We only coming with positive vibes.
Only positive vibes.
Is there anything else that you would like to leave them with?
Well, I try my best to be a woman of few words, because I think that sometimes words are just that. When we just say words, but there's no actions behind it, then words can sometimes come off as being void. I don't know what all the Lord has in store for me, has in store for my bro, has in store for us together, has in store for you. But I do want to encourage each of us to just continue pressing forward through Him. I know sometimes we just don't know. We don't know when things are going to change. We don't know when our breakthrough is going to come. But I want to encourage each of us to continue to press forward. Trust in Him. Lean and depend on Him. Because He is working some things out. I keep saying that. He's showing me in my own life. I know my brother, we have had several conversations about some things that the Lord has been revealing to him. So I just want to encourage us to keep holding on to His unchanging hand. And I know sometimes we may feel as though we're just stuck, but just continue to press forward through Him. Continue moving forward through Him. It's not too late. It's not too late to live out your vision, your purpose, your mission through Him. And y'all already know we're not coming with anything but positive vibes, love, joy, increasing faith, a sense of hope, transcending together forever. Butterfly Nation, Transcending Heights, journey to freedom and peace.